Hey guys, what's up? So today is December 30, 2025. I'm riding the KLR to Baguio City. That's where we'll be spending the New Year's with family. Basically, it's gonna be the KLR's big break in ride, and I'm finally gonna get to use it for its main purpose, which is long distance touring, covering lots of miles. Um, yeah, I'm excited, curious to see how the bike gets on and just how good it is when it's in its element. And along the way, I guess I'll be sharing with you some of my thoughts from the past year of riding, which has been, I would say, kind of up and down. All right, so I'll gear up and I'll see you on the road.
All right. So we are on the highway, cruising along NLEX, KLR, chirping happily away at 100 kilometers per hour. And I'm very comfortable on this couch of a seat. And I just haven't really taken the time to look back on 2025. I don't know, I've just been so tired lately. But good tired. Just a lot of travel, work, preparation, and personal stuff. All good. But looking back on this year was a weird one for riding because I guess somewhere along the way I lost kind of my confidence and a bit of my passion, and it made riding take a back seat. A big part of that I already talked about in a previous video, the one where I talked about like adventure riding's not a competition, and where I basically said I don't want to ride big bikes off-road in the meantime, despite kind of there is a price to pay for that, because I miss out on a lot of riding with my friends in the adventure community, because almost everybody takes their big bikes off-road to some pretty gnarly stuff, and I made a conscious decision to avoid that for the meantime, because I just got tired of riding always with fear in the foreground, and I wanted to find a way to ride with excitement in the foreground again. And so it's been a journey, because I think I went the right direction. I had all these words and videos about me making the decision to switch to a smaller bike and work my way up from there. So it's with no small measure of irony that I ended up being given a KLR, which is the biggest bike in this class. It's huge for a 650. But and there was one person in my comments who did complain that he kind of felt a betrayal after me saying all these things about it, wanted to go to small bikes, and suddenly I went and got the KLR, even though I didn't choose this bike. The bike chose me. And that's where I think that's the key here. That I've been talking this whole time about switching to smaller bikes, and everything about that is correct. It's how somebody like me will get better and will start enjoying and looking forward to riding again. But fate somehow intervened and said, well, yes, you're right, but we're gonna give you a big bike. Kawasaki Philippines did, at least, and thank you so much, Kawasaki, for this incredible opportunity that you've given me with the KLR. So I think there's a message from the universe there that, like, big bikes aren't done with me yet, that it wants me to not turn my back on the chance to get strong on these behemoths. And so, because I basically don't have a choice, I mean, I'm on the contract to Kawasaki, but the contract is secondary. the contract to use this bike. I mean, I said, okay, this is what we have, and I guess the universe is saying that we're not done yet. And so I am now basically, I am quote unquote forced to embrace the big bike life for the foreseeable future. And I just took that as an opportunity. Basically, first thing I did was I struck a deal with Coach Melakino. Coach Melakino, just a guy who's so passionate about motorcycling. I struck a deal with him to get training at lower cost, so I can go there as often as I can, really work on my bike skills, so that I can eventually feel really confident on a bike this big. So stay tuned actually, because I recorded a whole podcast and introduction with Coach Mel, but I'm keeping that under wraps for now because there's a mission there and I don't want to oversell what we're doing. I'd rather let the results speak for themselves when they come. So that's the challenge I've set before me, and sometimes it's good not to have a choice, because sometimes life just presents you with too many, especially in my life. I know not everybody's life, but I live quite a charmed life, I think, at least by my standards. Life has presented me with too many, I guess. It makes it too easy for me to always choose the easy way. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. But the problem comes when choosing the easy way comes at the expense of your goals. And my goal is to become a stronger rider, go on more adventures, and I want to be able to enjoy and look forward to that regardless of the bike I'm using, from small to big. And right now, the avoidance of developing the skill on the bigger bikes is honestly a hindrance. Like, I look at the rides my friends have been doing. Shout out to the Silencio adventure community. I look at those and I genuinely have FOMO. Like, when I watch their videos, they just did this incredible trail in Mount Ugo, then they went to Pantabangan. When I see that, I feel equal amounts of fear and FOMO. And I think that tells me something, because if it's just pure fear, then it means I don't want to do it at all. It's like watching somebody, like taking a mountain bike on the side of a cliff that's like 2 feet wide. That's pure fear. There's zero FOMO there. But when I see their videos of them taking their adventure bikes on these beautiful and hard trails, I feel both fear and FOMO, and that, I think, is the difference. If it's pure fear, that means you don't want to do it. But if there's fear and FOMO, that means I actually want to do it, but I just don't feel ready. I just don't have the confidence. And so that's just something I'm reflecting on, that I ran away from this big bike adventure thing, not invalidly, but at the same time, I'm also realizing I'm running away from something I actually want, because I feel like I'm not good enough yet, And so maybe getting the KLR is that sign from the universe to say, like, Aaron, I know what you want, and I'm here to make you earn it. And so here I am. Even that concept of earning is not quite, it doesn't quite sit well with me, because in the sense that adventure is for everyone. There are people who are just going by on pure passion without real technical skill. I see it happen, and they're welcome as long as they bring the right attitude. And so I think what I need equally to skill development is an attitude adjustment of just embracing this again. I bring the joy, and I think it will still be fun. And so that's where I am. Honestly, where I'm heading with all of this is I need to find my way back to the passion of motorcycle riding. Because honestly, there's so many things that have overtaken it in my life right now. Other hobbies and things going on in my personal life that maybe I felt like I also neglected, because in the past few years, suddenly motorcycling took over my public identity, my public image. And so, right or wrong, I felt the need to live up to that. And the thing is, I'm a very internally motivated person, and it clashes with my people pleasing. And this Philippine loop that I'm gonna do next month, it will be all kind of part of this journey of rediscovering and rekindling my passion for this beautiful hobby sport of motorcycling. And if you guys have been following this channel, you know I'm fond of using relationship metaphors for motorcycles and motorcycling and my relationship with motorcycling. And so I think now the past 6 months or so have been kind of a cool off period for me and my passion for motorcycling. It's been on and off. I haven't really been looking forward to it that much. Also because my closest riding buddies haven't been riding as much because of life as well. And so, and suddenly I am thrust with this motorcycle that I never expected, that some people have even said is just not suited for me. I'm like, yeah, fine, you're right, even I thought that. But when you're forced to be with something, or to track the metaphor, when you're forced to be with someone, like an arranged marriage, sometimes paradoxically, that actually creates the conditions for you to develop a more mature love that isn't just based off fleeting passionate feelings and like how sexy the bike is. It forces you into kind of a more committed, more willing to do the work kind of love. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think I'll leave it off there for now. This is kind of turning into a podcast. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my random thoughts, and I'll pick this up again when we're further along the route. So by now I've done about 200 kilometers of straight highway on the KLR, and now I get it. It really is a comfortable bike, really comfy seat, and really plush suspension. I would describe the ride as boat-like, which I know is not the most flattering thing to say about a motorcycle, but in this situation, it's actually ideal. That suspension is so soft actually that if there's, like, as it happens on these highways, if I have to suddenly stop, it feels a little sketchy because of how much that front fork dives. So I always just have to plan in advance and make sure to downshift enough to slow down the bike and pull it down with the rear tire. But yeah, okay, I mean, this is really what the bike is for. In fact, the thought that popped into my head was experiencing KLR like this, it makes me look forward to and want to travel long distance more. So that's a good sign for my upcoming Philippine loop, which will be almost 4,000 kilometers. Welcome to T-Plex, the infamously boring straight road through the flatlands, about, I don't know, I think 80 kilometers or so of the straight flat highway through flat terrain. This is the true test of a bike's cruising ability. Mountains are in sight. This high peak, that's Baguio, Mount Santo Tomas. Alright, we've just exited the highway. My trip meter on this tank is at 325 kilometers. I hit one bar maybe 10 kilometers ago, 10-20 kilometers ago. That's pretty good. I'm gonna load a full tank now to see what the fuel consumption is like and how much fuel I have left. Right. I decided the last minute to maximize my mileage and ride aesthetics by taking good old Asin Road, the best twisty route going up to Baguio. We're here, and honestly, break-in of the KLR was good. I mean, I learned a lot about the bike. Just a huge contrast between how well it behaves on the highway and how much of a handful it is when it comes to steep hairpins, and me not being always having to be super careful because I don't have that much inseam to be able to save any mistakes and having to stop in the middle suddenly. So yeah, I really have to work on getting comfortable on this bike, but it is a challenge that I accept. Alright, so guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next update on the KLR.